صلوات. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وهو الذي يحيي ويميت وله اختلاف الليل والنهار أفلا تعقلون بل قالوا مثل ما قال الأولون قالوا وإذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أإنا لمبعوثون لقد وعدنا نحن وآباؤنا هذا من قبل إن هذا إلا أساطير الأولين قل لمن الأرض ومن فيها إن كنتم تعلمون سيقولون لله قل أفلا تذكرون قل من رب السماوات السبع ورب العرش العظيم سيقولون لله قل أفلا تتقون قل من بيده ملكوت كل شيء وهو يجير ولا يجار عليه إن كنتم تعلمون سيقولون لله قل فأنى تسهرون قل لمن الأرض ومن فيها إن كنتم تعلمون سيقولون لله قل أفلا تذكرون قل من رب السماوات السبع ورب العرش العظيم سيقولون لله قل أفلا تتقون قل من بيده ملكوت كل شيء وهو يجير ولا يجار عليه إن كنتم تعلمون سيقولون لله قل فأنى تسهرون بل أتيناهم بالحق وأنهم لكاذبون ما اتخذ الله من ولد وما كان معه من إله إذا لذهب كل إله بما خلق ولعلى بعضهم على بعض سبحان الله عما يصفون عالم الغيب والشهادة فعال أما يشركون صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات.
بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات. اللهم صل على Muhammad. Mu'mineen Husainiya is full of very youngsters and young boys. The salawat was heard from our elders. Can we all recite aloud salawat together? Bar Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad salawat. Asant. Mu'mineen, today's Ruhani Majlis announcement, Majlis by the family of Marhum Amir Ali Bhai Jamal Datu for the Isale Sawab of Marhum Ghulam Sher Ali, Marhum Sheikh Yusuf Nafsi, Marhuma Tasneem Bhai Awan, Marhuma Sukra Bhai Ramji, Marhuma Marzia Bhai Datu and Kul Marhumeens. Majlis by Al-Haj Amir Ali Bhai Muhammad Ali Walji for the Isale Sawab of Marhum Muhammad Ali Bhai Walji, Marhuma Zainab Bhai Muhammad Ali Walji, Marhuma Kaniz Fatima Muhammad Ali Walji, Marhum Mohsin Bhai Muhammad Ali Walji and Kul Marhumeens. Majlis by the family of Marhum Al-Haj Ramzan Ali Muhammad Ali Walji for the Saleh Sawab Marhum Muhammad Ali Bhai Walji, Marhum Ramzan Ali Muhammad Ali Walji, Marhuma Maryam Bhai Muhammad Ali Walji, Marhuma Shirin Bhai Muhammad Ali Walji, Marhum Ali Bhai Bimji, Marhuma Kulsum Bhai Bimji, Marhuma Salma Bhai Walji and Kul Marhumeens. Majlis by Bandai Khuda for the Saleh Sawab of Marhum Ali Bhai Rajab Ali Pardhan, Marhuma Sherbanu Bhai Rajab Ali Pardhan, Marhum Rajab Ali Bhai Pardhan, Maruma Kaniz Remtullah and Kul Marumins. Majlis by Brother Bilal Kamaruddin for the Saleh Sawab of Marum Haj Ahmad Kamaruddin, Haj Jaber, Haja Leila Jaber, Haja Fatima Jaber, Haji Ali Al-Shami and Kul Marumins. You are humbly requested to recite Surah Fatiha for Kul Marumins. Al-Fatiha.
الصلوات नारे तकबीर नारे रिसालत नारे हैदरी कहते थे साहे होदा है मेरे प्यारे हबीब कहते थे साहे होदा है मेरे प्यारे हबीब साथ न छोड़ा मेरा है मेरे प्यारे हबीब साथ न छोड़ा मेरे प्यारे हबीब आइए तेरी वफा भूलेगा क्यों कर भला मुझ पे ये एहसान तेरा ऐ मेरे प्यारे हबीब आइए तेरी वफा भूलेगा क्यों कर भला मुझ पे ये एहसान तेरा ऐ मेरे प्यारे हबीब साथ हमेशा रहे साथ न लेते गए आशिक सबीर जा तेरा निगेबा खुदा सलवात
Mu'minin, there seems to be very tiredness today regarding especially the salawat. Before I introduce the young master to come and deliver his 2-minute speech, can we have one of your loudest Nare Salawat? Allah Salli ala Muhammad. Asant. Mu'minin, I will now request upon Master Ali Mahdi Jafar to come and deliver his speech. Please let's all welcome with a loud Nare Salawat.
Salawat. Respected scholars, elders, youth and children of the community, Salamun Alaikum. Habib ibn Madahir was about the same age as Imam Hussain alayhi salam. They were childhood friends. When Imam Ali alayhi salam moved the capital from Medina to Kufa, Habib also moved to Kufa. Habib ibn Madahir was heartbroken because he could not join Imam Hussain. He did not even know where Imam Hussain was. There were all sorts of rumors, but no one knew anything for certain. Since the day Imam Hussain had reached Karbala, every day Bibi Zainab saw soldiers coming to join the camp of Umar ibn Sa'd, the commander of Yazid's army. On 4th Muharram, she came to Imam Hussain and said, Ya Aki, why are all these soldiers coming? Imam Hussain replied, My dear sister, they're gathering to kill me. Bibi Zainab said, Brother, you have hardly 72 men with you, while they are in their thousands. Bibi Zainab had tears in her eyes as she added, Do you not have anyone ready to come to your help? He continued, Zainab, my sister, falsehood can buy many supporters, but truth only has a few friends. In Karbala, Imam Hussain called no one for help except his childhood friend, Habib ibn Madahir. That very same day, Imam Hussain wrote a letter to Habib ibn Madahir, his childhood friend, telling him how Yazid ibn Muawiyah's vultures were gathering to kill him. The messenger reached Habib's house. He read the letter, kissed it, and tears began to flow down his cheeks. His wife asked him what was wrong. Habib said, Who would ever thought that people would be so thirsty for the blood of the grandson of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whose name they utter in every adhan and in every salah. Habib's wife said, Habib, your childhood friend has called you. Your master needs your help. What are you waiting for? Go, Habib, before it's too late. In Karbala, Imam Hussein was distributing the weapons to all the mujahids. There was one spear left when someone asked, O son of Holy Prophet Muhammad, who is the last spear for? Imam Hussein replied, This one is for my childhood friend Habib. Just then Habib could be seen walking towards the camp. Bibi Zainab asked Bibi Fidda to convey her salams to Habib. When Habib received the message, he began to sob, saying, How fortunate are the companions of Imam Hussein that the daughter of Fatima Zahra should honor them with greetings. Between Zahra and Asr time, Habib ibn Madahi came to Imam Hussein. He said, My master Hussein, allow me to go to the battlefield. Let me sacrifice my life for Islam. Habib, my childhood friend, stay with me. You give comfort to me, my friend. Eventually, Imam Hussein gave his permission. He fought bravely but was finally overpowered. He fell to the ground. Imam Hussein rushed towards him. Habib died resting his head on Imam Hussein's shoulders. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Salawat.
صلوات. آبا سے تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے. آبا سے تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے. آبا سے تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے. جب شام و سحر فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے. جب شام و سحر فاطمہ زہرا تجھے روئے. آبا سے تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے. آبا سے تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے. درہ لیے پہرے پہ ستمگار کرا ہے. درہ لیے پہرے پہ ستمگار کرا ہے. کیسے تیرے لاشے پہ سکینہ تجھے روئے. آبا سے تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھے روئے. جس وقت اتایا نہ گیا لاشا جوان کا. جس وقت اتایا نہ گیا لاشا جوان کا. شہ اس قری اکبر سے زیادہ تجھے روئے. عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھ روئے. زینب نے کہا شام غریبہ میں غازی. زینب نے کہا شام غریبہ میں غازی. بے پردہ مجھے دیکھ کے بابا تجھ روئے. عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھ روئے. سجدے کے لیے جب لیا ہاتھوں کا سہارا. سجدے کے لیے جب لیا ہاتھوں کا سہارا. تو سجاد مصلی پہ ہمیشہ تجھ روئے. عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھ روئے. عباس تیرا حق ہے زمانہ تجھ روئے. پر محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
صلوات. کاش عباس نہ مارے جاتے. 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 اس طرح لگتی نہ اکبر کے کلیجے میں سنا. اس طرح ہوتی نہ سادات کے خیموں میں فگا. یوں نہ زینب کے سہارے جاتے. یوں نہ زینب کے سہارے جاتے. کاش عباس نہ مارے جاتے. دونوں بازو وہ شہنشاہ ہے وفا کے تھامے. لاش عباس پہ شبیر بکا کرتے تھے. بھائی تم بات ہمارے جاتے. بھائی تم بات ہمارے جاتے. کاش عباس نہ مارے جاتے. گردن شاہ پہ یورن میں نہ کھنجر چلتا. یوں نہ خورشید امامت سر مقتل دلتا، یوں نہ سر نیزوں پہ سارے جاتے، یوں نہ سر نیزوں پہ سارے جاتے، کاش عباس نہ مارے جاتے۔ ہوتے عباس دلاور تو نہ خیمے جلتے، شام غربت نہ سکینہ کو تماچے لگتے، گوشوارے نہ اتارے جاتے، گوشوارے نہ اتارے جاتے، کاش عباس نہ مارے جاتے۔ ہوتے عباس تو چھنتی ناردا زینب کی، پاؤں میں عابد مضطر کے نہ بیری دلتی، تازیہ نے بھی نہ مارے جاتے، تازیہ نے بھی نہ مارے جاتے، کاش عباس نہ مارے جاتے۔ ہو کے پابند رسن سید سجاد چلے، نہر کو دیکھ کے روتے ہوئے یہ کہنے لگے، سب وطن ساتھ ہمارے جاتے، سب وطن ساتھ ہمارے جاتے، کاش عباس نہ مارے جاتے۔ حال اکبر جو کوئی پوچھتا تھا نور علی، رو کے زینب یہی کہتی تھی صدا نور علی، کاش عباس نہ مارے جاتے، 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 کاش عباس نہ مارے جاتے۔ پر محمد وعلی محمد صلوات۔
بر محمد وعلی محمد صلوات اللہ۔ Mu'mineen, it's nice and warm, you have been fed, you've done everything, I've done the same as well. Why is there such a very unhearted salawat today? Bar Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad salawat. Ahsant. Mu'mineen, I've just received a majlis for the Saleh Sawab. Majlis from Ghulam Ali Bhai Jetha for the Isale Sawab Marhum Ghulam Ali Jetha. Sorry, my apologies, Marhum Amir Ali Bhai Ghulam Al Jetha and Kul Marhum is your humbly requested to recite Surah Fatiha for Kul Marhum means Al Fatiha. Mu'minin, as per every day, I have been requesting, once the lecture starts, please, please, I humbly request you, do not move around or get up from the first say Imam Hussein and start walking out. It causes inconvenience for the lecturer and also for the mu'minin who are already here. So I humbly request you again, once the lecture starts, please do not start moving around. It will be highly appreciated. Bar Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad salawat. Mu'minin, for safety of everyone, can I humbly request you, shoe racks have been provided. The shoes are all over the floor. Please be kind enough to make sure you put your shoes in the shoe racks, Asant. Mu'minin, we are very honored to have a representative from Zahra Trust, Brother Haider Al-Tati. Please let's welcome with a loud Nare Salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلوات. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Haider Al-Ta'i and I am one of the volunteers at the Zahra Trust. First and foremost, I wanted to thank the center for giving me some time to inshallah talk to you about some of the amazing work that the Zahra Trust are doing. I'm honored to actually have the opportunity to talk about that. I'm sure many of you are aware about the Zahra Trust. In fact, I'm sure most of you have contributed to the tremendous success of the Zahra Trust today so far. But just to give a summary, the Zahra Trust have been working for the past 15 years to provide dedicated humanitarian aid and development work. As we gather here today to remember the sacrifices of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, it's important to reflect on the values that he stood for. Those values being compassion, justice, and the unwavering support to support those in need. Imam Hussein's legacy is a beacon of hope and a call to action for all of us to support those in need. And alhamdulillah, this is exactly what the Zahra Trust has done. For the past 15 years, we've worked around 12 different countries and counting. Those including Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, East Africa, and most recently supporting the catastrophic events that are happening in Gaza. Within that period, just to give you guys a few numbers on some of the amazing work that we've been able to accomplish, we fed over 8 million people. And these aren't just regular people. These are often people that don't know where their next meal is coming from. We've built over 2,000 water wells. Each water well provides clean drinking water for roughly 400 people. So that's not just one or two families. That's an entire community that can be sponsored because of this water well. And of course, as we learned from the lessons of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the widows and orphans are not left behind. The Zahra Trust has taken care of more than 30,000 of them. And this is not just a one-time support. This is continuous support, week upon week, year upon year, ensuring that they are being taken care of. Of course, it's easy for me to just list a few numbers here. But this is a true testament, the numbers that I've said, to the impact that we can have when we come together, inshaAllah, in compassion and solidarity. For the holy month of Muharram, the Zahra Trust has many different initiatives, but I just want to name two, because I don't want to take too much of your time. First of all, the Ya Abbas Water Aid, in honor of Aba Fadl al-Abbas. I'm sure I speak on behalf of all of you that when we're remembering the story of the tragic battle of Karbala, the story of Aba Fadl al-Abbas always hits home when he went on his mission to quench the thirst of the children in Karbala. But we know that often within the very same lands and all across the world, these very same believers of Imam Hussein alayhi salam do not have access to clean drinking water. We can be the Abbas of this era and try and make a difference and quench the thirst of all of these children. And not just on a one-time basis. No, the Zahra Trust has a mission to create sustainable effect to all of the people that we're supporting by building those sustainable water wells I mentioned earlier. And the other one is the Ya Zainab widow support, in memory of course, Sayyida Zainab, who shouldered responsibility of widowhood with her leadership. We want to create the next generation of Zainabs, inshallah, through skills training initiatives to aim to cut the cycle of poverty. We want to be able to teach them and guide these widows with practical skills and empowering them to eventually have economic stability that subsequently then takes care of their mental well-being, so that their children don't have to go to the street and beg and work. No, the children can just be children, go to school and become the next generation of doctors, of teachers, of lawyers, of engineers, to start building the country up again, inshallah, and start building their families up and cut that cycle of poverty. Of course, I'm just mentioning these initiatives and packages, but I just want you to all know that every single penny that you're donating, inshallah, will go directly in the hands of the people that need it the most. The Zahra Trust have a 100% donation policy, so that anything that you're donating, thing will immediately go in the hands of the people that need it the most. In a bit, I'm just going to show you guys a quick video, just a 1-minute video on some of the amazing work. But of course, you might have seen me and Brother Ahmed already, but we've got a stall, and on the ladies' side, there is a stall as well, where you can buy merch. And again, the merch, every bit of profit will directly go in the hands of the people that need it the most. Or you can make a general donation, or if you've got any questions on how to get involved or the amazing work that the Zahra Trust are doing, please do let us know, and inshallah, we can answer those questions. But brothers and sisters, just as a final word, these efforts are a direct reflection of our commitment to turn the remembrance of Imam Hussein alayhi salam into actions. But we cannot do it alone. Your support and donation are vital into continuing this mission. By donating, you're not only honoring the legacy of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, but also making a tangible difference to the lives of countless individuals. Salawat. And if we can get the video playing, thank you.
100 years ago, Imam Hussein stood against tyranny and oppression, making the ultimate sacrifice for justice. The Zahra Trust honors his legacy by providing food baskets, fresh meals, clean water, and emergency relief to thousands of impoverished people around the world. Your support ensures that those in need receive the essentials for survival and dignity in memory of Imam Hussein. Be a part of something great this Muharram and answer his call in service to humanity. Every contribution, every act of kindness is a tribute to the sacrifice made by Abu Abdullah and a lifeline for those in need today. Labbaik ya Hussein, in memory of Hussein, in service to humanity.
Son, Brother Haider. Momineen, I now request upon Dr. Sayyid Ammar Nakshawani to deliver his lecture. Please let's all welcome him with a loud Nare Salawat.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه الغر الميامين. الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية سيدي ومولاي علي بن أبي طالب. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. أما بعد، يقول الله في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وما آمن معه إلا قليل. The first of our loud salawat in honor of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Second louder salawat in honor of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Third, with your loudest voices, in honor of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. Respected scholars, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Why are the Shia a minority? Why are the Shia a minority in the Muslim world? Is a question that has been asked by many, both within the school and outside of the school. If Shi'ism was the correct path, or is the correct path to the Lord, then why is it when one looks at the population of Muslims in the world today, the Shia are a minority? When one looks at the population of the Muslims in the world today, we find that there are in and around 2 billion Muslims in the world. 90% or so of those 2 billion are known as Sunni Muslims. And 10% are known as Shia Muslims. Give or take, in certain studies, where you may find 5%, for example, sometimes the studies will show that 85% of the Muslim world are Sunni Muslims, and 15% of the Muslim world are Shia. When we come, therefore, and look at the Shia milieu, you'll find that they number how many? They number in and around, if someone does their maths, 200 million Muslims. That 200 million Muslims is a great number, as in when one mentions 200 million, that's not a simple number to be mentioned. But in contrast to the Sunni world, you find that that is seen as a very minor number. When you even look at the countries in the majority Muslim world today, you'll find that arguably the main 6 are Sunni majority. For example, at the helm as the country with the greatest population of Muslims is Indonesia. Indonesia has the most Muslims in the world, over 210 million Muslims. After Indonesia, you go towards Pakistan and India, who have an unbelievable number of Muslims. And then Bangladesh, Nigeria, and Egypt, these are normally seen as the 6 countries with the most Muslims in the world. Those 6 countries, nobody ever associates with a Shia majority. As in Indonesia, you'll hardly find a Shia community, let alone a Shia majority. When you come, for example, to Bangladesh, it's the same story. You come to Egypt, it's the same story. Therefore, someone asked the question that clearly, because of these numbers, Sunni Islam must be the right way, because Sunni Islam has people over the billion. These people cannot all be wrong in what they follow. At the end of the day, when you see over 1 billion people going in one direction, and you see a couple of 100 million going in the other direction, surely you should go with the majority. If you see the majority of the Muslims in the world today are Sunni Muslims, then how can one be confident of staying on their path or of remaining Shia? Even at the same time, someone asked this question within the Shia school, that why is it Shi'ism is not the majority? If I have the ma'soomeen of Ahl al-Bayt, salawatullah wa salamu alayhim, and I have these ma'soomeen within the school who are meant to be the highest figures, then why is it that we have such a basic population within the Muslim world? Number of factors, of course, could emerge on this issue. But this argument is always used, as in when one looks online, you'll find that when someone wants to highlight that Shi'ism is the wrong path, or that Shi'ism is deviated, or that Shi'ism is not the path of Allah, they say, look how many of you there are. We know in the Sunni world and the Shia world, there are divisions, of course. In the Sunni world, there are a number of schools of thought, a number of schools of law. You will find in the schools of thought Hanafi and Maliki and Shafi'i and Hanbali. And you'll find in the schools of law, you will see all of these 4 schools. And in the schools of thought, you'll see Maturidi and Ash'ari and Mu'tazili and other schools that have emerged. But generally speaking, they are seen as Sunni. In the Shia, we have the Zaydis, the Ismailis, who are, of course, divided into 2, the Buhra and the Agha Khanis, the Nizaris. And then you have the Ithna Ashariya, the 12ers. When you divide all of them, you'll still find that there is a huge difference between Sunni and Shia. That in the Sunni world, 1 billion and more, and in the Shia world, 200 million. Is that because Shi'ism is not correct? Is that because we have not done enough tabligh for Shi'ism? Is that because there is a difference in worldview of the two, which seems to be a lot more appreciated by one other than the other? Let us tonight examine this question. That's why are Shia a minority in the Muslim world? And does this mean that Shi'ism is a false school of Islam? Or on the contrary, according to the verses of the Quran, maybe those who are a minority are those who always are the ones holding on to the truth. I'd like to examine this in the following stages. Number 1, what's the first answer that you give a Muslim who tells you because you are a minority, that means you're not on the path of God? Number 2, in the Quran, which prophets of Allah died with a minority of believers with them? But because they had a small number, did that mean they weren't on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Number 3, which prophet only had himself and no one else in the community? Number 4, how did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam highlight that even I, the prophet of God, only have a small number following me in Mecca? But did that mean that Islam was false? Number 5, are prophets good speakers? Are they good lecturers? Or are they not good at lecturing? And if they are good speakers, what does that show you when a person is deaf, dumb and blind to even the one who is the most eloquent? Number 6, how does taqiyya play a role in Indonesia, in Egypt, in Morocco, in Pakistan, where when a Shi'i lives around animals, you have to make sure that you protect yourself? Number 7, when it comes to being a minority, is that necessarily a problem when it comes to the events of Islamic history? And which events in Islamic history was there a minority of people, but still that minority was a minority that remained steadfast on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And finally, in Karbala, how many were on this side? How many were on that side? And how many were the ones who were on the path of Allah? Let's examine this and dissect the topic in complete depth. When a person says the fact that the Shia Muslims are only 10-15% of the Muslim world, that means that they are false and they are deviant and they are not on the path, the first answer to give them is, how do you answer those who say that Muslims are a minority on the earth today? What do I mean? How many people are there in the world today? 7 billion? How many are Muslim? 2 billion. By your logic, Islam is not the religion of God. Why? Because you said that the majority is the path of God and the minority is not the path of God. In the world today, there's 7 billion people. There's Christians, there's Jews, there's Hindus, there's Sikhs, there's Buddhists, there's atheists, there's agnostic. Is the majority of this world Muslim or non-Muslim? Majority of this world that we live in are non-Muslims. That means Muslims are what? Muslims are a minority. If being a minority shows you're not on the path of truth, then explain that one to the non-Muslim. Because the non-Muslim could easily come to me today and say to me that you Muslims are not on the path of truth. I'll say to them, why? Say, because look at you, you're a minority in the world. If God's religion is your religion, then why are you not the majority in the world? Why is the majority of the world not Muslim? How many there are in the world today who are Christians? They're not Muslim. Maybe there are Christians more than Muslims. Does that mean that Christianity is the path of God and Islam isn't? On the first level, when a person comes and tells you that the majority are on haqq, the first answer to give those people is what? Is that Islam is not the majority of the world. But then we believe Islam is on haqq. If today someone came to you and said that you Muslims are only making up 25% of the world, that means your Muhammad and your Quran are all false, what would you reply? You'd reply by saying you don't need to be the majority. As long as you are able to prove your beliefs properly, that is all that is required. If I am confident in my theology, in my worldview, then why should I worry if the majority of the world does not follow what I follow? The majority of the world may have not even heard about Islam, so you can't even judge them on that level. There are still people in certain parts of the world who have not heard about Islam. There are others who've heard about Islam, but they've seen an Islam that is far away from the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imagine I'm a non-Muslim and I woke up to 9/11. That's a beautiful Islam I want to join, isn't it? I see what's happening in 9/11 and I want to join. No. If I'm a non-Muslim and I woke up to ISIS, would I join that Islam or no? No. If I'm a non-Muslim and I woke up to Islam in certain parts of the UK, where the Muslim rude boy walks in the street like he wants to fight everybody, would I join that Islam or no? No, of course I wouldn't. Because that Islam is far from the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For me, when I look at a non-Muslim, if they use that logic that some of the Sunni uses against the Shia, that because you're a minority, you cannot be the truth, then that puts Islam in danger. Because Islam is not the majority of the world. A non-Muslim, if they use that argument, I have to be able to reply. And my reply is simple, that I don't need to be a part of the majority. The majority, for all I know, they are entitled to their beliefs. I cannot force my beliefs on theirs. They may not believe in certain things because of their forefathers. How many of you met who are Christian because their dad's Christian? How many? They're Christian because their dad's Christian. How many of you met who are Jewish because their dad is Jewish? They're Hindu because their dad is Hindu. Do you think that I then care if the majority of that group of people are not Muslim? I don't care. Because if that person has decided to stagnate their intellect, then let them stay where they are. Why would I want to be part of a group of people which is the majority? But they're stubborn in their thinking. They're not introspective. They're not reflective. Rather, I'd prefer to be with the minority, but a minority that is constantly reflecting on themselves. And that's why when you look in the Quran, someone who tells you the majority are on haqq, you look in the Quran, you'll find many times it's the minority that are on haqq, not the majority. Someone says where? The first example in the Quran where the minority were on haqq while the majority were on batil was the story of Nabi Nuh alayhi salam. Nabi Nuh preached to his people for how many years? For 950 years. Imagine giving majalis. Some of us given majalis for 25 years and we have white hair and a beard and grey and everything. Imagine 950 years of having to deal with people and their thoughts and their opinions and their sentiments. Nabi Nuh gave lectures for 950 years. He tried to speak to everybody, to bring them towards the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi Nuh alayhi salam, when it came to trying to guide them from idol worship towards the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, some of them blatantly, while he would talk, جَعَلُوا أَصَابِعَهُمْ فِي آذَانِهِمْ, they'd blatantly put their fingers in their ears. They don't want to hear his lecture. Stop talking to me about religion. I don't want to know about religion. I don't want to be a Maulana. Stop giving me such a headache. Nabi Nuh did not stop. Nabi Nuh continued. He continued to speak, continued to try and guide them. By the end of his life, Nabi Nuh alayhi salam, how many people do you think had joined the path of Nabi Nuh, boarded the ark of salvation of Nuh alayhi salam? How many? Do you know what the hadith say? How many do you think? Maybe 7 or 8 of them. Imagine. 7 or 8. Some hadiths mention a large number. The largest number I've seen in the hadith literature is how many? 80. Imagine a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preaching to the whole world about Islam. 80 people by the end of his life join him. That person, Nabi Nuh, is a minority or majority of the world at that time. What is he? Minority or majority? Minority. If a person is a minority and it means they're not on haqq, so what do you say about Nabi Nuh alayhi salam? Nabi Nuh alayhi salam, what do you say about him? Nabi Nuh preached a message to a group of people. He was a minority in that worldview. Someone who comes and says, because you people are not the majority, it means you're on batil. Say, have you not read the story of Nabi Nuh alayhi salam? Nabi Nuh, what does the Quran say? وَمَا آمَنَ مَعَهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. None believed with him except what? Qalil. Qalil means what? Means only a few believed in the message of Nabi Nuh alayhi salam. Nabi Nuh could have easily turned around to those people and he could have said, you see, my message is wrong because I'm a minority. No. Sometimes it's about the quality of the people with you, not the quantity of the people with you. Yes? If it's about quantity, then those who did not board the ark, they were huge in number. His wife was one of them. His children was one of them. There were others who were amongst them. No, not at all. When it came to Nabi Nuh, Allah highlighted something. That here's a prophet of mine. If you want to judge him by numbers, then his mission is a failure. If you want to judge him by quality of mu'mineen with him, then his mission is a success. Therefore, the first prophet in the Quran, who was a minority and dispelled the theory that if you are a sect that is a minority, that means you are not the sect of God or the path of God, was Nabi Nuh alayhi salam. Nabi Nuh at least had 7 with him. Nabi Ibrahim had no one by himself. Nabi Ibrahim, the Quran says what? In Surah 16 verse 120. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna Ibrahim kana ummah. Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam preached against the whole community of people that were worshipping idols. I ask you a question. Majority of people in his time, were they Muslim or non-Muslim? Nabi Ibrahim. Majority was what? Non-Muslim. Does that mean Ibrahim's a failure because he's a minority? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no way. The quality of this one man, if you put all of them together, they don't come near this one man. You could have thousands in the opposition, and this side could only have 72. But the reality of this side is that they are in a different level to that. Nabi Ibrahim, Allah said by the time Nabi Ibrahim had preached his message, you'd think Nabi Ibrahim was like Nabi Nuh. At least Nabi Nuh had 7 with him. Nabi Ibrahim, Allah says Ibrahim was alone. But he himself was an ummah by himself. Normally, when we talk about the Muslim ummah, don't we talk about millions? Yeah. Allah says Ibrahim was an ummah. Do you know what that means? That means that there are certain personalities in history. They standing somewhere is like a whole mountain standing in front of thousands. Their presence, you saw him when it came to the fire. When they wanted to burn him in the fire, they came and you wouldn't see a cooler man than Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. But Baba, these guys are getting flustered. You're a minority. I'm a minority, but I'm at peace with God. You guys can get flustered about us. You're the majority, but you can't sleep properly because you know that the arguments I'm giving you are logical. Know one thing. If any sect is a majority, if they keep prodding you or bullying you, that means there's something about your teachings that's getting to them. There's something about your message that they can't rest on. Even if they are 80%, 85%, 90%, not just 90%, 95, not 95, 99.9. Nabi Ibrahim sees everyone worshipping the idols. All of a sudden he's like, you know what? What? You think I'm scared because I'm a minority? You think that because there's that many of them in that school, I'm going to be scared? Wallah, I'll break all the idols that they believe in. And none of them can scare me. When he broke all the idols, he kept only one big idol, didn't he? He kept that big idol. The rumor went in town that the idols have been broken. People were saying, who is it? Who could it be? They said, it's probably that youth, Ibrahim. When they came to Ibrahim alayhi salam, Nabi Ibrahim highlighted something to us. Never be scared just because you're a small number. Don't be scared. Keep calm. A small number is great in the eyes of Allah when they have taqwa and iman. Small number. Yes, you might be a minority. But if you have taqwa and you have iman and you have sabr, don't worry about what the numbers on Google or Wikipedia say about Muslim populations. You just worry about yourself. Nabi Ibrahim, they came to him. They said to him, did you break all the idols? With all calmness in the world, even though he was a minority. 7? No. 80? No. 200 million? No. 1. 1 Ibrahim. He just looked at them. He said, you're asking me if I broke all the idols? They said, yes. He said, why don't you ask the big one? If the big one can speak. Yeah. That minority, do you know what it showed? If a minority sect uses aql and the other one doesn't use their aql, the minority will always be victorious wherever they are. Yep. Because that sect is worshipping on the basis of who their fathers worship. Whereas this man is worshipping on the basis of what his heart looks for. There's a difference. That sect worships in a way because my dad worships idols, my granddad worshipped idols, my great-granddad worshipped idols. That's why I worship idols. Ibrahim alayhi salam said, I don't care if my uncle makes the idols. I only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why when they brought Nabi Ibrahim to burn Nabi Ibrahim, everybody's thinking, you know what? This guy's going to burn. And Nabi Ibrahim's thinking, I've got so much trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I know I'm going to be all right. Allah made that area what? He made the fire a place that was cold and peaceful for Ibrahim. Nabi Nuh, minority, only 7. Nabi Ibrahim, 1. Arguably the greatest of them, who had a minority when he began, was Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If I was living in Mecca at the beginning of Islam, I'll say to Rasulullah, you know what? I'm not sure you're doing a good job. Why? I'll say, look how many are with you. Who's with you? You've got alongside you that young boy, Ali. And you've got this black guy, Bilal. And you've got Salman coming later, of course. You've got Abu Dhar al-Ghafari there at that time. And you have al-Miqdad and Ammar. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, when he began teaching the religion of Islam, in Mecca, he was there for 13 years. How many people do you think converted because of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa to Islam? How many? There's not more than 100, 120, 140 Muslims in 13 years of majalis. If you looked at the idea that the minority are wrong and the majority are on haqq, then Rasulullah's religion was wrong. Because the majority of Quraysh, what were they? They were idol worshippers, don't you agree? The majority of Quraysh were idol worshippers. They were not on the path of the oneness of Allah. They had put idols which they were worshipping on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which deviated them towards shirk. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi used to walk around. Sometimes he's got 5 Muslims with him. I say to him, Ya Rasulullah, I could have easily said at that time that your religion, what's happened to it? You're meant to bring the religion of God. You're meant to be the path of God. You can't convert more people. Why is the demographic of Rasulullah at that time on Google, if I was to click the majority, it would not say him. It would say Abu Lahab. Abu Lahab, Abu Jahl, Walid ibn al-Mughira, Utbah ibn Rabi'a. These were the majority. They had thousands of mushriks. Rasulullah had a few mu'mins. Nothing more than that. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam highlighted something. What was it? He highlighted that these few that I have with me, I wouldn't swap them for the thousands that they have. Why? These few with me, they came towards the path freely and intellectually. They are not following what their fathers follow, otherwise they could be idol worshippers. Yes? Originally, Ammar bin Yasir and people like Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, what are their tribes? Idol worshippers. Rasulullah doesn't want people coming with blind faith. He wants people who have come inquisitive, free minds, coming towards a path where aql is the bedrock of that school. A school whose aql is its bedrock is a school that you can always hold on to. Why? Because it allows for rational inquiry, not blind following. It allows for a person to open their mind. Therefore, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, if the logic is when a group of people are a minority, that means they are batil. And if a group of people are the majority, they are in haqq. How do you explain Rasulullah's first 13 years as a prophet of God? And that's why the Quran kept on revealing verses to the prophet, saying to him that the majority, you will never find them on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you know, if you were to type in the Quran, you know in the Arabic, just type one word, I want you to see how many verses come up. Which word? Aktharahum. Aktharahum means what? And most of them. Aktharahum is repeated so many times in the Quran that it completely rejects the idea that minority is on the wrong path. Rather, it comes with the idea that what? That the majority are the ones on the wrong path. Type in the Quran, Aktharahum. Aktharahum, number 1. Aktharahum la ya'qilun. Many of them do not think. The majority of them do not think. Number 2. Aktharahum yajhalun. The majority of them are ignorant. Majority do not think. Majority are ignorant. Aktharahum kathibun. The majority of them are liars. Yes? And aktharahum fasiqun. And you will find the majority of them are what? Are transgressors. And they are sinners. Aktharahum lil haqqi karihun. You will find the majority of them, when haqq is presented to them, are rejectors of that, and they hate that haqq that comes to them. Notice how the Quran shows that the majority is the ones who are on the wrong path. It's the minority who are always holding on to the path. أكثرهم لا يعقلون, أكثرهم يجهلون, أكثرهم كاذبون, أكثرهم لا يؤمنون, أكثرهم للحق كارهون. How many times Allah shows that the majority, when someone tells you, you Shia are a minority, it means that you people are not on the path. Say, bro, come with me. Let's Google أكثرهم and let's find out what the Quran says about the majority. Because when I Google, I see that أكثرهم, Allah has shown no. لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون. That the truth, whatever description of the truth, how many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the truth and the truth of the day of judgment. It's been told to them. It's been told to them so many times, and yet the Quran says أكثر الناس لا يعلمون, أكثر الناس لا يؤمنون, أكثرهم فاسقون. And then the Quran comes with another verse when it says what? أم تحسب أن أكثرهم what يسمعون أو يعقلون? Do you think that the majority of these mankind, do you think that these people hear? Do you think they listen? On the contrary, you'll find that the majority of them, the Quran says, they are like cattle. No, they are even worse. Here there's a vital point. What is it? Someone says on this front that the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're right, the majority did not follow Nuh. No problem, but they were mushrik. And Ibrahim, the majority did not follow him. You're right, but they were mushrik. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa at the beginning of Islam, the majority did not follow him, but they were mushrik. They say you're right, but they say, but Muslim is a different story. They say the examples that I'm giving is that the majority of the mushriks did not follow Islam. They say, but when it comes to Islam within Islam, then surely the majority are right. Even within Islam, you'll find that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on many occasions, it was the minority that were loyal to him and the majority who stabbed him in the back. What do I mean? The Battle of Uhud, there were Muslims fighting with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or no? Weren't there Muslims on his side? How many Muslims were on his side on the day of Uhud? This is a vital point. Why? Because this shows internally within Islam, the minority are the ones on haqq and the majority are ready to run. And the Battle of Uhud, how many were on the side of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? 750 Muslims. We agree? The Quraysh, how many were they? 4,000. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had highlighted to the Quraysh, to highlight it to the Muslims, that you stay, make sure you don't leave that mountain. Otherwise Khalid ibn al-Walid will come around and they will come and attack. The Muslims were doing so well at the battle. They were annihilating the opposition until 2 of the Muslims got killed. Which 2? The first of them, Hamza bin Abd al-Muttalib. And the second of them, Mus'ab bin Umair. When the 2 of those got killed, the Muslims realized, oh my God, some were sending rumors Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been killed. Other Muslims were like, listen, bro, grab the spoils of this war. Muhammad's religion's over. We've been already pretending to him that we've been on his side this whole time. But you know what? Now it's game over. Let's get out of here as quick as we can. Quran said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهَا الرُّسُلُ أَفَإِنْ مَاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ انقلبتم على أعقابكم. Muhammad is but a messenger of Allah. And messengers have come before him. If he dies, or rather he is killed, you all turn around and run away that quickly? I ask you all a question. Was it the majority of the Muslims who ran away? Or the minority? Majority ran away. Therefore, if the majority is on haqq, they certainly weren't on haqq on the day of Uhud, were they? On that day, the majority had run away. How many remained with Rasulullah on that day? Let's see, minority versus majority. How many remained with Rasulullah out of 750 on that day? If you can name me more than 6, 7 who remained with him, I'll change my name tonight. Yeah? How many? 750 of them were saying, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. They were openly saying it. At the end of that battle, only 6 remained loyal with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. At the helm of them, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Imam Ali alayhi salam highlighted that while he is the emir of the minority, who cares who the majority are? Yes? Imam highlighted to all of us, on that day in Uhud, there were 750 people who were called Islam. There were only a few who were real Islam. The majority of them, they were people who were ready to run away. I'll give you another example. Tomorrow, all of you pray Salat al-Jum'ah. Salat al-Jum'ah has a verse which highlights the majority may even leave the lecture of Rasulullah, while only a few remain behind. إِذَا نُودِيَ لِلصَّلَاةِ مِنْ يَوْمِ الجُّمْعَةِ فَاسْعَوْا إِلَىٰ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. The Quran says that we have to make sure that we come towards Salat al-Jum'ah. But the Quran also tells us, وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا انْفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا. When they saw business or merchandise, they were praying Jum'ah behind Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Then they saw business. There was a caravan that came into Medina. Is everyone praying Jum'ah Muslim or no? We agree everyone's Muslim? Yes? Everyone's praying. They heard there's a caravan coming to Medina for business. Quran says what? It didn't say rahu ilayha. It didn't say no. It said infaddu. Infaddu means they flooded towards it. And they left you standing alone. I ask you, in this situation, the majority were what? Majority were Muslims who left. There was only a few who stood with Rasulullah in the khutbah. The rest of them legged it. They went for the business while Rasulullah is giving the khutbah. Therefore, when someone looks even within Islam, you'll see that the majority doesn't mean loyalty. The majority doesn't mean holding on to the truth. The majority can be made up of a mishmash of personalities. It could be made up of the religious, the non-religious, the one who follows because of their parents, the ones who has never read in their life. But the reality was what? That for us, the minority was always there as the path of truth from Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Saqifa, how many remained loyal to Imam Ali alayhi salam? How many? Is Imam Ali alayhi salam for us on haqq because of the number of his followers or because of the quality of his followers? At Saqifa, Imam did not have more than 5 loyal people who remained loyal to him. The rest of them had found the pleasures of dunya, the pleasures of power. They left that path. When they left that path, why did they leave that path? They left that path because they saw that dunya was right in front of them. Suddenly the majority of them left. If Imam Ali's success is to be judged by numbers, then who was there with Imam Ali after Saqifa? Only a handful of people. If Imam Ali's success and the success of any school is judged by the quality of its members, then I'll tell you and I'll be frank. For me, I would take Salman al-Farsi above Umar ibn al-Khattab all day long. All day long. And I'm proud to say it. That for me, Salman, I would take him all day long. Bring me Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, I would take him over Abu Bakr all day long. Bring me Miqdad ibn al-Aswad, and I would take him over Uthman all day long. Bring me Ammar bin Yasir, and I would take him over Khalid bin Walid all day long. For me, just because there was only 5 with Imam Ali, wallah, those 5, Jannah yearns for them. Jannah yearns for the likes of Salman and Abu Dhar and Miqdad and Ammar, because those people, in a difficult moment, they remained loyal to Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. I ask you all a question. Prophets of God are good speakers or no? What do you think? Prophets of God, are they good speakers? Yes, they are. Why did only 2 people join their religion? Nabi Nuh is a good lecturer or no? Wallah, I'm not the dust under his eloquence. I am nothing. Nabi Nuh is a brilliant lecturer. Do you agree? Nabi Nuh is a fantastic lecturer. Nabi Nuh, by the end of your life, you've got 7 people. Nabi Ibrahim is a good speaker or no? Does he give good majalis, Nabi Ibrahim? Of course he does. Why Nabi Ibrahim? No one's converted towards his path. Why? When we look at Nabi Musa, brilliant speaker. Why is he alone in Madian? No one to help him. Why? Nabi Isa, fantastic. Why do many people leave him to be crucified at the end? Why? Sometimes it shows you, even a prophet of Allah cannot bring everyone on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the end, there are people who are so stubborn in their ways. Whatever you teach them, they close their eyes to. Why did the Quran say that? أَن تَحْسَبُوا أَكْثَرَهُمْ. Do you actually think that the majority of them, they hear or they see what you are saying or they think about what you are saying? Why does the Quran say that? The Quran was trying to highlight that the majority of these, even if you're the best prophet of Allah, The majority of these, they prefer to stick to following either what their fathers say, or they are not willing to listen to what you're trying to say. You're trying to give them the message, and yet they want to close their ears, because when haqq comes upon them, for that haqq, they hate it and they don't want it to come near them. And that's why today when someone says, your Shia speakers may not necessarily be getting the message across, that's why you Shia are a minority. I reply, we had prophets of Allah who were the best speakers you could ever get. By the end of their life, their CV said 7 people. And others, by the end of their life, their CV said 1 person converted. And others, by the end of their life, their CV said 20 people converted. When you saw all of that, does that mean that because they've only got a small number of followers, that they weren't on haqq? Not at all. Because those prophets wanted to highlight, it wasn't how big your school was in terms of numbers, it was the quality of who joined you. The quality of those people who joined your school, that's what it's about. You think the Shia, when we say today at the beginning of the lecture, Shia are 10% of the Muslim world and Sunni is 90%. Do you know how that demographic really should be? If it wasn't for taqiyya, I guarantee you it'd be much closer. How many Shia do you think live from the time of Rasulullah when he died in Saqifa until today who cannot openly say they're Shia because they might get killed? Google, what does it say? Google says the Muslim world, 90% Sunni, 10% Shia. Google and AI, one thing they cannot account for is when a Shi'i lives in Egypt, worried to say he's Shi'i because he may get killed by a lynch mob. Do you take account of that or no? Do you know how many Shia in the world today there are who don't come out and say they're Shia because of taqiyya? Why? Why wouldn't they come out and say they're taqiyya? They're Shia. For what reason? They don't come out because they'll get killed. Let me give you a few countries as an example. Algeria, you come out as a Shi'i in Algeria, may Allah bless your soul, I'll read your janazah from here. Yes? Algeria is one of those places where either that majority that exists there, either they are people who've never heard about Shia, or they've been misinformed about Shia, or no, my father was Sunni, my grandfather was Sunni, I'm going to remain Sunni, and anyone who's against, we're going to kill. Algeria, you will hardly find one Imam Barga, one Husainiya, where the Shia are allowed to practice. Habibi, if I'm 10% and you're 90%, why do you shake when you hear my name? What scares you about what I teach? Why are you worried to let your kids read my books? If my books are full of nonsense, why do you stop your communities from reading our books? I have Nahj al-Balagha, al-Sahifa al-Sajjadiyya. I have these books. Why are you worried to read these? The sign of success is not numbers. It's whether you're cool enough to read your literature and the opposition's literature. You bring me Bukhari today, I chill and read it. You've seen. I can sit there and chill, enjoy. Someone says, but said Ammar, but it's a Sunni book. No, it's a book. It's knowledge. It's literature. It's growth of mind. It allows for wisdom to come to me, so I appreciate the thoughts of others. Why are you worried about reading Shia books? If the Shia are a small company, you're a conglomerate worth $1 billion, you've got a small company. Why are you worried about talking to them? You should be saying, listen, I'm the biggest thing in the world. I'm not scared. Why are you worried to allow Husainiyas to open? Why is it that if you hear that your child has become Shia, you want to kick them out of the house? Am I not one who believes in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah? Number 1, Algeria. Number 2, Jordan. No Imam Barga or Husainiyya in the whole of Jordan. Not allowed. Not allowed to open. Why? What's wrong? You're 90%, I'm 10%. What am I going to do? It's because you know that my 10% is built on the most brilliant 14 personalities that ever lived. Yes? My 10% is built on the most brilliant 14 names you will ever see. But because I've got those 14, you can keep your 100,000. You can keep your 100,000. Keep your Talha and Zubair. You can keep your Khalid and Uthman. You can keep your Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas and Abd al-Rahman bin Auf. I tell you here, while sitting here, I am ready to go to the Day of Judgment and say, you have your 100,000. All I want is Ali ibn Abi Talib. That's it. That's it. All I want is one. If I die and there's two other Shia with me and all three of us have Ali ibn Abi Talib, I'm so confident I'll go to Jannah. That's how confident I am. Someone says, but bro, that means there's three of you and there's 1.3 billion of them. I'll say, bro, that's how chilled I am about going there. Because if I've got Mawla, you can keep all of your companions. I have the Amir. I have the Amir. Algeria, if you're Shia, you can't even come out and say you're Shia. Jordan, number 3, where? Malaysia, mashallah. MashaAllah, Malaysia. Busy with their holiday islands and resorts. But if you want to openly come out as Shia, no, not allowed. Banned by government. Banned by the government. Why Malaysia? Why? Chill. Relax. Majority or Sunni. What's wrong with you? What am I going to do if I come to town and give a lecture? Wallah, if I come to town and give a lecture, you know exactly what I'm going to do. What you see is that Algeria, you've got where? Jordan, you got where? Malaysia, all of these places. Where else? Egypt. Can you come out in the middle of Cairo today and say you're Shia? You could go and watch a pyramid the whole day, sit on a camel, about to die when you fall off. You could have someone who's going to make you pay for a pyramid ride, camel ride, running around. Say you're Shi'i. Look at the reaction when you say you're Shi'i. Why? What's wrong? What's wrong? We're a minority. You're the majority. Why are you getting so nervous about us? Relax. Is it because I have the man chosen on the day of Ghadir? Is it because I have the chiefs of the youth of paradise? Is it because I have Zayn al-Abidin? I just happen to have Muhammad Baqir al-Ulum. And I have a man who taught 2 of your Imams of fiqh. And I have Musa al-Kadhim and Ali ibn Musa. And Muhammad bin Ali and Ali bin Muhammad. And Al-Hasan bin Ali. And by the way, I also have the fact that when the Mahdi comes, he's the grandson of all those guys. So I'm in a pretty good position. Is that what makes you always look at us with unease and want to insult us and so on? So for us, Algeria, a Shia cannot come out. In Malaysia, a Shia cannot come out. In Egypt, a Shia cannot come out. In all of these places, there are parts of Pakistan on the border, Pakistan and Afghanistan. Try and say you're Shia in those parts. Go to Parachinar and Quetta and places like that. Try and come out publicly in some of these areas, Dara Ismail and all these. Go there. Say my name is Hassan Hussein. As if you have blasphemed against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But bro, my name is Hassan Hussein. The grandsons of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's as if you blasphemed against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For us, therefore, you look at all those countries, I'm telling you, there are more Shia than what Google says. But still, we're a minority. But you know what's beautiful about our minority? What's beautiful about our minority? Palestine showed that us, the minority, are the ones who always have to save the day. Look, I mentioned all those countries. Indonesia, where are they now with Palestine? Where are they? Indonesian, 212 million Muslims. Where are they? India, mashallah, lots of help for Palestine, India. Yes, all those hundreds of millions of Muslims, where are they? Pakistan, so much help. Bangladesh, they can't wait to run to Palestine, mashallah, the Bangladeshi. All of you, majority, where are you? Egyptians, where are you? Egyptians, Islam, Egypt, Islam, Sunni Islam, path of Allah, where are you? Where are you? Where are all these countries? They are all the majority. Who is it that ended up being the ones who protected the shrine of Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam? Who is it? Who is it? But the Shia of Ali, Iran, Lebanon, Iraq, these were the ones. I ask you, what's Iran? Majority Shia? Yes. What's Iraq? Majority Shia? Yes. Lebanon, huge Shia population. Yes, we are a minority. But I'll tell you what, when it comes to bravery, we have Hussein bin Ali in our blood. Yes? We are a minority. I give you that. You are a majority. I give you that. But your majority cannot do what our Sayyids do when they want to help someone. Whether it is the help of the likes of Sayyid Ali or Sayyid Hassan and others who put forward soldiers to make sure that those soldiers protected the lands. Which fatwa like Ayatollah Sistani's fatwa could save against the filth of ISIS? The filth of ISIS. Ayatollah Sistani, in one statement, straight away turned around, and the filth of ISIS, Ayatollah Sistani said, everyone stand up. We're a minority? Yeah, we are. But Khaybar runs in our blood. We know how to defeat certain groups of people. Because while your leaders on those days came back without victory, Haydar al-Karrar lifted that door. Therefore, we are a minority. Yes, we are. But we are the only ones who come and save the day all the time. While all of you are busy with your business contracts and building skyscrapers and building resorts and holidays, it's our youth who are the martyrs of the religion of Islam. And you know why our youth are the martyrs of the religion? It's because we were taught on the day of Ashura that you've got a minority on one side and a majority on the other. That majority, no one remembers them. The minority people always say, وَعَلَىٰ أَصْحَابِ الْحُسَيْنِ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ. True? Because if it's the fact that if you're a minority, you are a failure, or you're a minority and you're not on the truth, then in Karbala, all of these equations got turned upside down. Because in Karbala, the minority were the ones who were on haqq, and the majority were on batil. Was Karbala Muslim versus Mushrik? So someone could say to me, Nuh and Ibrahim was Muslim v Mushrik. No, Karbala was Muslim v Muslim. But Karbala highlighted that Shia Ali ibn Abi Talib, even if they are a minority, don't mess with them in the battlefield. Because in their veins is Habib ibn Madahir. And in their veins is Muslim bin Awsaja. And in their veins is Hur bin Yazid al-Riyahi. And in their veins is Abis al-Shakiri. You don't teach us about battles. You stay away and leave us to finish the job off. Because the first of us finished Khandaq off. And the last and the 12th of us will bring peace and victory to the Muslims. And that is our line. You can never teach us about battlefields. We are the ones who originated the meaning of battlefields. We are the ones who built the meaning of battlefields. You come and tell me you Shia are wrong because you're a minority. I reply to you, come to Karbala. A minority taught the majority the meaning of the religion of Islam. Wallah. That's why Mutahhari, Shaheed Mutahhari, he describes this in a wonderful way. He says, think of this image. He says, was it one man against 30,000? No, it was 30,000 against one man. Allah. Just think about that. Was it one Hussein versus them? No. 30,000 versus this one man. This one man had shaken 30,000. They couldn't understand the poise of this man. But they didn't realize that this man grew up in a house with a warrior who could teach you the meaning of poise and discipline. But what this man had alongside him was that he had a minority army, but the biggest hearts of a majority. Yes? Those soldiers alongside him. Every year we remember Ashab al-Husayn alayhi salam. Because those soldiers were loyal to the message of Islam. They didn't look at the opposition and say, oh God, you are 85% of the Muslim world and we're 15. They just looked at them and said, we've been to the finishing school of Ali ibn Abi Talib. You don't know what's coming to you today. Those were soldiers who also knew one thing. It's not about how many are on haqq. Quran said majority are not on haqq. It's rather about the principles of the minority. As long as I'm with people who are of salah, of humility, of akhlaq, of dignity, why would I want to be with millions? I prefer to be with Habib and Muslim. I prefer to be with Zuhair and with Anas ibn al-Harith. And you look at them on that day, wallah. Look at those soldiers of Abu Abdullah. You look at the way, the respect that they had. Let me go out and die for you, O son of Rasulullah. And he would say to them, no, you can go home. I go home? No way. I go home and you stand here alone? Never. I'd prefer to be killed and life is given back to me, resurrected, cut into pieces, and I'd want it done over and over and over again, so long as I die next to Hussein bin Ali. Imagine the mentality of that minority, that they could just stand there in front of the battlefield. They would recite their lines of poetry. Each and every one of them would come out on that battlefield, and each and every one of them would recite what their poem is. Look at that John, black Abyssinian, tells Abu Abdullah, let me go. He said to him, John, you've served us enough. He said, Abu Abdullah, you're not going to let me go out and fight. He said, no, John, you've been with us all this time. You've served our family all this time. You've done more than enough. He said, and what do I answer your mother Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam? That I left her son so that he fights these people. On the contrary, I want to be there for you. I want to stand alongside you. And he would stand in front of all of them and say, كيف ترى الكفار ضرب الأسود بالسيف ضربا عن بني محمد أذب عنهم باللسان واليد أرجو بها الجنة يوم المورد. And he would lie there, Abu Abdullah, taking his body back. And then you had another companion of Imam al-Hussein, let me go out and fight. And he would go out. And then he'd say, Abu Abdullah, one favor. When I fall, would you come and pick me up? And Imam al-Hussein would say to him, of course I will. So when Imam came to him, that person had fallen. Imam placed his cheek next to the cheek of that person who had fallen. And that person looked in the eyes of Imam al-Hussein and he said, who is like me? And the son of Rasulullah's cheek is on my cheek when I die. Then there was the 12-year-old boy or the young man who came out on the battlefield, said, Abu Abdullah, it's my turn. And Imam al-Hussein looked at him and said to him, no, young man, your mom is here. Go back to your mom. He went back to his mom. His mom said, what are you doing? He said to her mom, he said to me that I cannot fight. I have to look after my mom. She walked with that young boy. She said, Abu Abdullah, these ladies have all given their sons. And these men have all given their lives. I want to give my boy away. And that boy would come out and he would stand in front of the opposition. You would think it's a minority with a minor. It's a minor number and a minor age. And yet he looks at him and he says what? Amir Husaynun wa ni'mal amir. Surur Fuad al-Bashir al-Nadir. Aliyun wa Fatimatu walida. Fahal ta'lamuna lahum al-Nadir. That young man came out on the battlefield and he said, Hussein is my Amir. And what an Amir, what a leader, what a prince. So you had that young man of all ages. There was a man with a hunchback. He came out on the battlefield to defend Imam al-Hussein. There was another man whose eyebrows were falling over his eyes. That's how old he was. And he defended Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. All of that minority army became a majority of wonderful hearts for Abu Abdullah. Especially two of them, Habib ibn Madahir and Suhair ibn al-Qayn. Yes? Habib ibn Madahir had been the best friend of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam for so many years. And you imagine that scene when he bid farewell to Abu Abdullah, going out on the battlefield, telling them who he was, until Abu Abdullah came and carried his body back towards the tents. It broke his heart and broke the heart of Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam. But without a doubt, in my analysis of all the deaths of the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, the one that hurt him the most was the death of Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, because he knew Zuhair had been loyal to him on that day. He knew Zuhair was ready to give everything. For goodness sake, Zuhair stood in front of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam and took the arrows on his body when salah time had come. Imam al-Hussein had seen that loyalty from Zuhair, and then it was Zuhair's turn. He came to Abu Abdullah. He said, let me go out now. And then Imam al-Hussein looked at him. He said to him, Zuhair, he said to him, you don't have to go. He said, Abu Abdullah, allow me to go now. It's my turn. He came out on the battlefield. He then called out, أنا زهير وأنا ابن القين أذودكم بالسيف عن حسيني إن حسينا أحد السبطين من عترة النبي الزكي الزيني ذاك رسول الله غير المين. He fought valiantly, killing a number of the opposition. Some of the maqatil say Zuhair ibn al-Qayn killed 120 of the opposition on that day. Imagine how much bravery you must have to kill 120 of the opposition on that day. All of a sudden a call came out, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. They absolutely ripped Zuhair's body into pieces. That's how much hate they had for him. To the extent Imam said something on that day, may Allah raise you with the punishment of Bani Israel for the way that you've killed Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. The narrations mention that he came back towards the battlefield, and then he entered and came back. Zuhair's wife Daylam was in the tents. The lady began to cry when she heard that Zuhair had died. On the night of the 11th of Muharram, Shama Ghariban, the ladies were all in their tents. Some of them were crying, others were hugging each other, others of them trying to get some sleep. Zuhair's wife woke up. It was the middle of the night in Karbala. She woke up, she missed her husband. So what did she do? She woke up and she decided that she wanted to cover her husband's body. It had been cut into pieces. So she turned around to her servant. She said to her servant, here's a piece of cloth. Go out on the battlefield, find my husband's body and make sure that you cover it. The servant says, I went out, I was looking for his body, and then I came back shortly afterwards. Daylam said, I turned around to her and I said to her, that did you cover my husband's body? The servant said, I'm sorry, I did not. So Daylam said, but why? I asked you to cover his body. She said, as soon as I was about to cover his holy body, I saw the body of Abu Abdullah lying there with nothing on it. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. I asked myself, how could I cover the body? And the son of Zahra had no kafan on his body. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise us with Muhammad and Al Muhammad. Ya Allah, raise us with the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. Allow us to be amongst his companions and amongst his followers. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us steadfast in the way that you kept the steadfastness of the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Raise us, Ya Allah, with Ashab al-Hussein alayhi salam. Raise us with Zuhair ibn al-Qayn and Habib ibn Madahir and Muslim bin Awsaja and Hur bin Yazid al-Riyahi, Abis al-Shakiri, John, Anas ibn al-Harith al-Kahili, amongst others who gave their lives away on the plains of Karbala. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the Surah al-Fatiha, but before it, the loudest of your salawat. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين مأتم الحسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Sabro Bismillah, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein, 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 Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. سر کو کٹا کے دین پہ، سر کو کٹا کے دین پہ، خود کربلا میں کر دیا تو نے حسین. ہائے یا حسین، یا حسین، یا حسین، یا حسین، یا حسین، یا حسین. یہ فاطمہ کی ہے دعا، یہ فاطمہ کی ہے دعا، مولا تیرے سب ماتمی کہتے رہے. ہائے یا حسین، یا حسین، یا حسین، یا حسین. زہرا جائیاں دایا سرا غازی، 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 زہرا جائیاں دایا سرا غازی. ہویا کربل، ہویا کربل، ہویا کربل دے وچ جدا غازی، زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی، زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی. ہویا کربل، ہویا کربل، ہویا کربل دے وچ جدا غازی، زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی، زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی، زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی. زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی، زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی. اج بھی بنتے حسین روندی ہے، اج بھی بنتے حسین روندی ہے، اج بھی بنتے حسین روندی ہے، اج بھی بنتے حسین روندی ہے. خط میرے قید تو چھڑا غازی، زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی، زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی. ماشاءاللہ. زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی، زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی، زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی. کیویں جاواں گی شام تے کوفہ، کیویں جاواں گی شام تے کوفہ، کیویں جاواں گی شام تے کوفہ، شام تے کوفہ میں کو محمل تے آبا غازی زہرا جائیاں رایا سرا غازی زہرا جائیاں رایا سرا غازی زہرا جائیاں رایا سرا غازی ماشاءاللہ زہرا جائیاں رایا سرا غازی زہرا جائیاں رایا سرا غازی سر تو زینب دے لے گئی چادر 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 جدو مقتل نو ٹر پیا غازی زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی 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 میری چادر خدا دا پردہ ہے 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 میری چادر میری چادر میری چادر دی تو بقا غازی زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا زہرا جائیاں دا آسرا غازی یا حسین 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 بیٹا ہے تو علی کا زہرا کی تو دعا ہے شبیر تیرا کا البنین ماں ہے ہر صورت و چلن میں حیدر سے نہ جدا ہے تاشر تجھ سے قائم دنیا میں بس وفا ہے اپاس 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 تیرے علم کو تامے ہر شخص کہہ رہا ہے مظلوم کربلا کا زینب کا واسطہ ہے پردیس کوئی ایسا پردیس میں نہ اجرے صدقے میں اس کے جس کا گھر-بار لٹ گیا ہے عباس 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 دل کی مراد غازی تیرے علم سے پائے روتی ہوئی جو مائے تیرے علم پہ آئے زہرا کے درد پہلو کا دیتی ہے واسطہ فضا کی کنیزی میں میرا بھی نام آئے عباس 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 عباس
اس وقت جب کہ زینب دربار میں گئی تھی قاری نمازیوں سے محفل سجی ہوئی تھی ظالم یہ پوچھتا تھا قاضی تیرا کہاں ہے بالوں سے منہ چھپائے زینب یہ کہہ رہی تھی آپاس 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 اس وقت جب کہ زینب دربار میں گئی تھی قاری نمازیوں سے محفل سجی ہوئی تھی ظالم یہ پوچھتا تھا غازی تیرا کہاں ہے بالوں سے منہ چھپائے زینب یہ کہہ رہی تھی پاس 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 تیرے علم کو تھامے ہر شخص کہہ رہا ہے مظلوم کربلا کا زینب کا واسطہ ہے پردیس کوئی ایسا پردیس میں نہ اجڑے صدقے میں اس کے جس کا گھر بار لٹ گیا ہے آپاس 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 آپاس
فاطمہ زہرا مل کے پڑھیں فاطمہ زہرا فاطمہ زہرا فاطمہ زہرا فاطمہ زہرا فاطمہ زہرا فاطمہ زہرا فاطمہ اے میری بی بی اے میری بی بی آنسوؤں میں دعا مانگی ہے تیری تسبیح پڑھ کے دل نے تجھے پکارا ہے یا زہرا یا زہرا مل کے یا زہرا ہے یا زہرا مصرع سن کے یا زہرا ہے یا فرش مجلس پہ اور مصلی پر ہر جوان کہہ رہا ہے رو رو کر مل کے فرش مجلس پہ اور مصلی پر ہر جوان کہہ رہا ہے رو رو کر ہم رہے نہ رہے مگر بی بی تا قیامت رہے غم سرور یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا جیو ماتمی یا زہرا فرش مجلس پہ اور مصلی پر ہر جوان کہہ رہا ہے رو رو کر فرش مجلس پہ اور مصلی پر ہر جوان کہہ رہا ہے رو رو کر. ہم رہے نہ رہے مگر بی بی تا قیامت رہے غم سرور. یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا ہے یا زہرا یا زہرا. مل کے باز بلند یا مرحبا یا زہرا ہے یا زہرا. تو ہمیں حفظ اور امان دے دے اپنی چادر کا سائبہ دے دے. مل کے تو ہمیں حفظ اور امان دے دے اپنی چادر کا سائبہ دے دے. تیری قدرت میں کیا نہیں بی بی تو جسے چاہے دو جہاں دے دے. یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا. مل کے یا زہرا ہے یا زہرا یا زہرا یا. تجھ کو امت نے یوں ستایا ہے مرگ محسن پہ بھی رلایا ہے. تجھ کو امت نے یوں ستایا ہے مرگ محسن پہ بھی رلایا ہے. تجھ کو بابا کے بعد امت نے ہائے دربار میں بلایا ہے. یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا. جیو ماتمی ہرا ہے یا زہرا یا زہرا یا. کربلا میں تیری شبیہ بن کر اپنے بابا کی زندگی بن کر. کربلا میں تیری شبیہ بن کر اپنے بابا کی زندگی بن کر. تیرا بچپن ہے سکینہ بی بی اور جوانی ہے زینب مستر. یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا. مل کے باز بلند یا جیو ماتمی زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا ہے یا. ماشاءاللہ. تیرا دربار وہ سخی در ہے ہر فرشتہ جہاں گداگر ہے. مل کے تیرا دربار وہ سخی در ہے ہر فرشتہ جہاں گداگر ہے. تیرے مکروز آسماں والے تیرا مکروز ہر سکندر ہے یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا ہے یا جیو ماتمی مرحبا ہرا ہے یا زہرا فرش مجلس پہ اور مصلی پر ہر جوان کہہ رہا ہے رو رو کر مل کے فرش مجلس پہ اور مصلی پر ہر جوان ماشاءاللہ رہا ہے رو رو کر ہم رہے نہ رہے مگر بی تا قیامت رہے غم سرور یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا ہے یا زہرا یا زہرا وہ عابد بیمار تھا وہ عابد سارے مل کے نام مولا وہ عابد بیمار تھا وہ عابد بیمار تھا چلنے سے جو لاچار تھا چلنے سے جو اور شام کا بازار تھا اور شام کا بازار تھا اور مصطفیٰ کی بیٹیاں مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین
اور محمد وآل محمد صلوات سورة المبارکۃ الفاتحہ.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء السلطان أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدي في يوم الجزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان سيدي الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
اللهم قل لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعوا فيها طويلا لبيك يا حسين